All I care is that you care. You show that to me and you put the effort in, I am happy.
Jesus.
I'm happy to mentor you. If you don't show that to me, like I cannot care as to if you were to keel over and die or whatever. I mean, I kind of care at that point, but
No,
like
I got
you
you.
you
Hi, Daniel. Welcome to a conversation with a friend. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, do you mind starting off with a brief intro of yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Daniel, and I'm a software engineer at a tech company here in Alberta. And yeah, so at the company, I am a cloud infrastructure engineer. So I sort of look after the company's cloud infrastructure. Make improvements to it, do some mentoring here and there, and do some design and architecture. But yeah, it's kind of what I do at my job. Yeah, I don't know what else. What else do you want me to say in this intro? Actually,
It's whatever you want, dude. Okay, that's a good starting point, I guess. Did it take you a while to figure out that you wanted to do that?
no. I found out pretty early on. I think that I always wanted to do something in software. In grade 10, I was reading an options booklet, and one of the options inside that booklet was for computer science, and the description was like, "Do you like playing video games?" And I'm like, in my head, "Yeah, I love playing video games. Do you want to know how it's made?" I was like, "Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Then come and join the computer science option." And so, with that description, I started doing that computer science option, and I've been essentially doing programming pretty much ever since then. Yeah. So I would say I knew in high school that this is like a great career choice or a viable career option for me at least.
Wow, did you ever question it though? Like between high school and now? Also, you fell for an advert. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm apparently very I can be manipulated very easily just with a description. So but uh but yeah, sorry, going back to your question about like have I ever had any doubts?
Mhm.
No, I don't think so. I love programming. It's like if you I don't know, as a hobby, if you let's say enjoy doing puzzles or something, it's kind of like it's literally like puzzles but with math and a computer science language. And you can do and create literally anything that you ever want to create. You just need to figure out how to do it in a fast, efficient, and scalable manner. So it's like a great big puzzle, like a yeah, great big puzzle piece essentially. So I don't think I've ever questioned it as to like if I ever want to do something in it or not.
Okay, but
Yeah.
in regards to your career trajectory, trajectory, then, where do you see yourself going in the future with this? Like, are you where you want to be right now, or is there like a bigger evolution going on with all of this?
So like right now, I'm very happy where I am. Like I get to solve I get to solve some very interesting like questions and problems that I haven't encountered before. I respect and I have good time working with my colleagues. So right now I'm very happy where I am. The thing that I am doing right now though is like I am pushing like my like manager slash like the management team to let me be like a team lead so I can develop my interpersonal skills or at least my management skills a bit better. But even when I go down that route, I never want to be like 100% into management or anything. I'd still want a certain amount of my time still dedicated to like programming and stuff because that's kind of like what I love doing, and I see myself being in some way or another involved with coding for at least the foreseeable future. And then like I guess with like the whole management perspective, I initially tried to start my own company with a friend of mine. It didn't work out so well, and so I had to quit that, and then this current company is what came after the startup. But I do want to in the future like try my own startup again. And then if you have your own startup, you obviously need the technical skills to get you to build your product, but you also need kind of the management skills to be able to lead a team to building a successful product. So this is kind of why I want to pursue something in management, even though um, I would say I'm not. I would say my interests definitely do not lie within management.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And actually, honestly, this is really impressive. So you knew in grade 10, and you're already figuring out like what the next steps are, and with those next steps, you're using those skills. Okay. In regards,
No. Actually, before even getting to that, I would say I had no idea this was even a career choice in grade 10. So I started it because it sounded cool, and
yeah.
I kept at it because it was fun.
Oh,
And then eventually in university and stuff, I went down the software route.
yeah.
That's where I kind of saw like a career or a future in technology and programming.
So in a
Yeah.
way, correct me if I'm wrong here, but in a way, you broke down, I guess, like you're describing it like a puzzle piece, and you're describing like all these things that you like about it. So you broke down at a high level what you really enjoyed about it, and used that to figure out what the career path looks like. Is that right?
So I think one thing that I think people have to understand about me is that I rarely have like I rarely plan out my life.
Right.
I just I mean there are obviously a few big ticket items that like I have my goals set for, like the one I told you about, like I wanna try doing another startup after
Right.
this. So like there's those like overarching goals, but like to get there, I just kind of go with the flow and see what kind of goes. It's worked out for me so far, so I can't complain about it.
But that flow, it's still following through with like your interests and stuff, right? Like you're figuring things
Oh
out,
yeah, yeah,
like what
yeah,
you
yeah.
like and
I don't.
dislike.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't mean to imply planning per se. I just meant like you figured out you enjoyed something, and then you kind of flowed with it in a way, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, I don't do well when someone tells me to do something that I don't like doing. It could never be that I could even do that. Like if you saw me do something that I don't enjoy doing, you'd think I'm probably the laziest worker you've ever seen in your life.
the laziest
I
work.
will I will probably procrastinate to the point where I actually don't do the work. That's kind of like where it's at, where it's like if I don't enjoy it, but if I enjoy it, I'll put my head down. I'll probably want to be a pretty productive worker. It always has to be what's in my interest, what keeps me what keeps me interested, and then I go with the flow in that with that direction.
Okay, I have a question in that regard then. So like you're talking about, is that why you prefer startups? Because I can imagine in startups you have a lot more control over what you're actually doing. But at the same time, I'm sure there are circumstances in which you're going to be forced to do things that, you're not going to enjoy, right? How do you keep your motivation going in a startup in that regard?
So just to even take a step back, I used to work at an enterprise company. This was like my first job right out of university. And after 6 months, I remember I was like super bored, and I know for a fact that I wasn't doing any good work there. Like from an interesting point of view, but like from my own like productivity output, I was probably like a horrible worker. So like very fast, I knew I didn't enjoy enterprise. And anything that they give me, I knew it was going to be slow, boring, or whatever it is. I don't care about that job at all. Um, with the startup, it's super high paced. Yes, like you wear like 10 different hats, but that's part of the that's what part of it makes it fun. Because like the other thing that I also hate doing is the same task for forever and ever. I need to do other different things, or I get bored. And if I get bored, then I become useless. This is where like a startup is really great for me in the sense that like yeah, of the 10, 20 hats that I have to wear at a startup, probably like five of them are going to be things that I don't like to do, right?
Right.
But the thing is, there's so many different hats that like the amount of time that I spend on the things that I dislike, it's fine. Like I'll put my maximum effort into like getting it done. But at least as soon as I'm done, I know that there's other things that I can do immediately after, right? Or that I'm doing in parallel with that task that I hate doing. It just kind of becomes like in the back of my head, I think it's kind of like it's just like a monotonous task that I just gotta do. I get it over with, and then I
Right.
can get on to the other fun stuff. I don't know if that answered your original question
No,
though.
no, no, that certainly
Yeah,
does. You're experiencing different challenges, learning from them, and like, you won't ever be bored. And so the startup in
yeah,
itself is like, it's a playground for you.
yeah, literally. And then the other thing about startups though is that like, yes, you have like a direct I guess uh, you can have a direct ownership if it's like a public company.
Yeah.
That's fine. But like
Hmm.
with a startup, yes, it's still a private, but you still have your ownership stake in it, right? So even if that task is something that you hate doing and you have to, and let's say you spend like a week on it, that task is necessary for the business.
Hmm.
And if it's necessary for the business, then it's great for your long term, like um your for your long term, right? If the company does well, you do well. So there's also that aspect of like I can justify why I have to do this task that I hate doing. Because it while I hate it, great for the business, and so I have to get it done. Otherwise, it won't get done. So I just gotta do it.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
And in that regard, though, do you find that your current job, like you're feeling just as rewarded with then? Because I know you want to do like start up your own startup again in the future, and you tried
yeah.
it before. Like how do you balance that in your current position?
Um, I mean, the current position is also a startup. But the big difference in my head is that like this is not a startup that I started, right?
Right.
So this current one, I'm helping someone, I'm helping the founders like with building up their like vision. Like I'm helping on the execution of their vision.
Hmm.
And so like with this one, one of my goals when I entered this company was like these founders are very famous founders. Like they've already successfully exited from a previously well-known Canadian company, and they came, and right after that they came and started this one. So I know that they know how to like build a star. Or at least they have shown that they can have a vision and execute on it. Like they know how to do it. So one of the things that I want to know, I want to see a company go from like almost nothing, which was when I joined. Like I think they were able to finish a feature like the very one of the very first features. Finally, when I came in, they're celebrating. That was my first day. Like the product wasn't even launched. There was no customers.
Yeah.
No, it was like literally not. Like I mean, there was like obviously people building the product to get to the first like MVP or something.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like features, there was really nothing. Um, so I wanted to see a company go from that to where it is today, which is like a company that's now like multi-hundred people.
Hmm.
And it's been a fascinating journey, go from like almost nothing to that.
Yeah.
But that's what I want to get out of this one, and then I want to take the learnings I get out of this one, and then hopefully apply it into a successful startup that I start with probably another co-founder or co-founders. I don't know how many. I just know I'm not going to start one by myself, but
Yeah.
um, because I don't believe in having single founder startups. But anyways, like take the learning, apply it to this one, and hopefully grow that into a successful business.
And dude, that's pretty cool. So you're saying like everything you're talking about, it shows like a high level of passion for building things from the ground and having your own I guess blood, sweat, and tears in it and feeling the
Yeah,
reward from that, right? Even though you're
yeah,
talking about like promoting someone else's vision right now, you're still talking about it in the regards of like these are the things that will I am learning from them and I believe in their vision. And by believing in
yep,
their vision, you're gonna see the results of it, right?
yep.
But if you have so much passion about your work and stuff, how do you balance that with your personal life, right? Like, because it feels like you could get consumed by something like that if you're that passionate about it all and you're enjoying it that much.
Yeah, like I love my work and all that. But like one of the things I learned from doing my own startup previously to this was like at least at that startup, I don't think I barely saw friends and family. And then so like one of the things I think I kind of got out of that, minus all the other learnings that I had from that experience, was like you should definitely take a chunk out of your day to like at least see friends and family. You have to. Otherwise, you eventually like start going crazy or something. But you have to do that. So like even this one, if I'm not working or I'm not like playing games to like de-stress or something or whatever, I go see friends and family. So I make time for that stuff. Um, but in terms, yeah, but like that's kind of where my life is at. It's like a good chunk of it is work. Some of it is like my own personal time, and then the rest is like friends, like seeing friends and family kind of deal.
So to have that aha moment, did you actually experience burnout before then in your previous role?
Uh, yeah, I would say so. I didn't recognize it at the time, I think. But I remember like towards the end of that company, yeah, like my productivity dropped significantly,
Hmm.
and I remember some of the people at that company commenting on it, and I was like, I don't think so. But then like now looking back, I definitely see that like I was like burning out towards the end and stuff. I was working like unsustainable hours, just working constantly, and that no matter how whatever you are as a person, there is I think like a limit to how long you can do it for, and you just gotta be able to recognize what your limit is, or recognize it, or just do stuff to prevent that even ever becoming a problem. And
Right.
that's what I'm trying to like do that balance now. There's
Yeah.
still times now when I like work a lot of hours, but
Hmm.
at the end of the day, at least I still see my friends and family, so that's fine.
No, that makes sense. And
Yeah,
to be honest, I think I've talked to a few other people about burnout, and they've all said very similar things, which is I've also experienced it before, and it's that it's hard to notice it, right? Like it's very
yeah,
difficult.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I had no, I didn't know when it was happening. It's only like hindsight is 2020 kind of thing with it, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. And when you're talking about increasing your interpersonal skills in regards to management, do you see a big distinction between that and how you would treat your friends and families and the interpersonal skills that go into that?
With the workplace, you got to keep a certain level of like professionalism, and I'm known for sometimes not having that great of a boundary with that.
Okay, right.
So at least for me, say it's a skill that I need to work on. Um, so I need to make sure to tone down sometimes or whatever, like what my not what my thoughts are, but what like are not tone down, but like kind of
Present yourself
reword
differently,
or
right?
yeah, reword or
Yeah.
restate how I would have normally said it if I were
Mm-hmm.
to say it to like a friend or family.
Right. Yeah,
Because like
you
I
can't just
don't,
go around
yeah,
calling people an idiot or a moron, right? You
yeah,
gotta,
exactly. Like you can't do that. So like you gotta make sure have a bit of a filter. Um, um, but also it's like there's also I think it's a balance of like obviously you don't want to go so professional that like they think you're like this management dick. But like so like you kind of obviously want to have work friends and stuff because like
Yeah.
otherwise like work is boring.
Mm-hmm.
Work, in my point of view, you spend like for me at least sometimes I can spend literally like half or more of my day at work.
Yeah.
So I want to make friends at work, and so that I can enjoy my time at work.
Right.
So right, so like you gotta do that. Like especially if you become like sort of into like a tech lead or like management, you gotta have that like yeah, you gotta balance between that professionalism and then trying to make friends and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with like friends and family, yeah, I think I have a fairly decent reputation of having almost no filter. Um, so
I
like
can
yeah,
attest to that. You're good.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
okay, so
So
with that being said, okay, so when I hear about like things like you having no filter, right? I'm putting up quotation marks by the way, and no one can see
yeah,
us. But when I hear things like that, I usually see that as more of you know who you are, you know what you want, and you know what you like desire, right? Correct me if I'm wrong on this read, and that's why you're willing on directly saying like this is what I like, this is what I dislike, and so on and so forth, right? In that regard, like assuming that's correct, did it take you a while to figure out how to be able to do that? Like, being direct with what you like and dislike, or do you feel like you've always been that kind of person?
that I wouldn't know. I'm sure something that happened over time.
Hmm.
I don't think. I mean, like, I mean, when I was like, especially like in like high school and stuff, I was a lot more shy. Even now, among like brand new people, like I would say I'm a decently shy person. I'll just kind of like go back and observe them for a while until
Until
until I
you're
kind
ready.
of get a until I'm ready or I get a sense of who they are before I start engaging.
You sound like a
So
panther.
no, no, but like I've had some people that tell me that they thought that I disliked them, but like to me, I was just like, I don't want to like come on and be like think that like I'm being a dick or something in another way, but like I'm trying to just observe you to see what kind of a person you are before I like yeah
Yeah.
engage with you. But anyways, I think nowadays maybe I'm a little more forthcoming with it, but I think I was always like I wasn't always great at like social cues and stuff, so um I think I was always this, but just maybe less out there.
Right, but isn't that two different things though? Like, understanding social cues versus being direct with your likes and dislikes, right? I think understanding social cues goes more with presentation of it all, or like when you can say what you like or dislike to someone, or when you can say certain things, right?
Oh,
Versus,
oh, I see. Then I guess I was always that person. Like to my mom and to my sister, I was very direct as to if I didn't want to do it or not, and that
mm,
got me into a lot of conflict with them sometimes. But I was just like, I don't want to do it.
dude, this is kind of cool. So, do you
Yeah.
feel like you're always the same person around everyone you're around? Like, you don't try to present like, not present yourself differently. Like, you don't. There's a lot of people which have like they have their work selves, and then they have their family selves, and then they have how they like deal with their friends, and sometimes there's differences in literally that the way their personality shows off to each individual, and some people think it's like I guess it goes to comfort and things like that. But do you find yourself to be more yourself around everyone, just like toned back in regards to social cues as you were mentioning earlier?
Yeah, that's what I would say I am. Obviously, I do. You can't always like not change anything. Like, let's
Hmm.
say you're at a workplace. Obviously, as I mentioned, you're gonna be a bit more professional, right?
Right.
You can't just just do
Yeah.
whatever, say whatever. That's
Yeah,
not
eat a
a
bag
thing.
of dicks. That's not
Yeah,
gonna fly
you
there.
can't. That's a sure way to go to the HR office and then like either get rid up or get fired, right?
Yes.
But for the most part, I would say I would say I don't really change much. Like I might, yeah, as you said, like I would tone down some of the things, especially with like I think I also said with like the new people. I like to just I if it's a brand new people, I usually just like quietly just sit back and just watch the interactions. um, but like once I feel comfortable or once I get a feel for who they are, then like you'll start to see like who I am as a person come out.
Uh-huh.
And it'll come in like different levels, right?
Hmm.
And then if you're like a close friend, you'll see like full on
It's a
my
beautiful sight.
versus like maybe like an acquaintance, it might be just a toned down version of that. Yeah,
Right, where you would have either dismiss a person or start welcoming them in more, right? Based on your own impression of them, right?
yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Dude, I don't think you realize how hard it is to be that comfortable with yourself that you're able to do that, right? Present yourself in that way. Like I know some people would look at that as you like miss social cues and stuff, right? But to me it's like you don't care for them. Those are two different things. And to not care for them, you have to be like so comfortable and know yourself pretty well, right? And like then you don't give a shit. Otherwise you give a shit, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Like I mean, no, I don't know. I don't like I yeah, like I know who I am as a person. There's like certain things that I would say I would I'd never say never.
Hmm.
That's like my one of my favorite things to say, never say never.
Right.
And so I'm gonna say a statement, but in the back of your head, think never say never. But like there are certain personality traits that I like about myself,
Yeah.
and that I know, and they're like a core fundamental part of who I am, and I don't want to ever change that for anybody because then then that's not me.
Do you mind
Um,
saying what some of them are by any chance? Like what are three or four things you really like about yourself?
my logical side, I really like my logical side.
Hmm.
I know that's like that. that is, I think that is a fundamental core value, or not value, but like a core pers fundamental personality trait of mine is just the um logical slash rational side.
Hmm.
It's kept me out of trouble in a few different places, so I definitely think
Being rational.
think it.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
The other one is um, I don't know. Is this? I don't know if this would be a. I don't know if this
Just
would
go
be
for it. We can figure it out.
yeah, like my emotions don't fluctuate all that much.
Oh.
Like I get like if someone says something bad to me, like I'll be like, oh, I'm annoyed, but I'm not gonna be like furious, right?
Mm.
Where
I,
I would go and take actions that at the end, like later on, I would regret.
right, but is
Um,
that because you don't care for their opinion, or is that because you know who you are, and so when someone else says it, it like doesn't bug you?
I'll listen to it,
Yeah.
I'll listen to it.
Hmm.
If someone says something harsh about me, I'll listen to it and be like, either already I know that that's a flaw in my head,
Yeah.
so like what you said doesn't surprise me.
Yes.
Or I mean, it's that, or like I heavily disagree with you,
Yeah.
and so I'm just gonna completely ignore what you just said.
Hmm.
Or I have to think about it. Maybe not then at that situation, but I might like when I'm at home or something and I'm like by myself. I might like consider it and be like, is that actually true?
Right.
Have I what have I done that would have but depending on like where my head goes with that, like it'll be the maybe I'll try to improve that, or
Yeah.
I think you're full of shit, so like go away.
So,
Um,
sorry, your emotions don't fluctuate based on other people's opinion about you, and you're able to identify that, and like, you know, like you said, the feedback and stuff will go through. But your emotions, they will fluctuate if you're like excited about something and stuff, right? Like,
That's
there's
but I mean yeah, like if I'm excited and happy, but like I would say it's just usually fairly stable.
usually fairly stable.
It doesn't go into like the extremes very often.
Right.
There's been very few moments of my life where I would say my emotions have gone to like extreme happiness or like extreme mad or extreme sadness or whatever it is, but like usually like I can control my emotion very well.
That's
Um
awesome. I think that's a healthy thing, to be honest.
yeah. The other one, and then yeah, and then I think I had a third one. I can't remember now. Maybe
Shit.
if it comes up later on or something,
Yeah.
can remember. But
Yeah, no, sorry, I interrupted there. I just thought I would dig a little deeper into that one because it sounded interesting. Because you're saying that as like a very positive thing about yourself, or you like about yourself, right? And
yeah,
I feel
like
like
to
that
other
could,
people, they might think I'm like stone cold or cold hearted or something.
yeah,
Um, that's fine. I don't know. I don't really care. But like, to me, it's like I'd rather not show extreme emotions.
yeah. To be
Yeah,
honest, I've known you since like what? It's been too long. I think it's been what like at least 12, 13 years,
yeah.
probably.
It's been a while. Yeah,
Yeah, and I've never really seen you as stone cold by any means. But the two things that you're saying, like you like the logical side of you and the emotions don't fluctuate, right? Those two things kind of seem interconnected in a way, right? Because you're able to stick with that logical side if your emotions are not fluctuating too much
mm.
in that regard.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But I've definitely seen
Um,
you like get super excited and thrilled about
yeah,
things
and
like
like
that,
I'm not a robot.
right?
I'm just saying like you won't at least you will not you will hopefully once again never say never,
Yes.
never see like me like just like screaming at someone because I'm like so angry or something.
Yeah.
Um, I think I have my I think I can like check myself essentially and be like, okay, let's calm down a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And well, you also know not to do that as well, right? Like it's not like
yeah,
you would go around starting yelling at people and stuff, right?
yeah.
Like you said, you're 100% human. Sorry, you have a shirt that says that. I had to quote it.
Yeah, no, that's like honestly that's like my most favorite sweater. I wear it a lot.
Yeah,
Actually,
where did you get that from?
so I was in New York with some friends, and we went to a thrift store because one of my friends really like thrift stores,
Yeah.
and it was like one of the bigger thrift store chains. So there's actually like pretty decent selection there. Um, so we're just like while like she was like going off and like doing her like into the dressing room and stuff. Me and another buddy were just like kind of browsing around, right? We're just like waiting for her to do her thing.
Hmm.
And then yeah, I was like looking through and I saw the sweater. I was like, perfect. This is perfect.
This is
I
perfect.
love it. Yeah,
Yeah, because I think a lot of people get the impression you're a robot. Like you said, you work insane hours, no sleep, and all that stuff. Plus, you're a very logical person, thereby, either a vampire or a robot going around, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. My third one
Yes.
is my I guess is my like ambition and drive. The other
Mm.
part that I would never want to change for anybody.
Mission and drive.
It's served me well in life. It gives me purpose. I wouldn't want to like throw that away for something else.
Right.
Maybe I can try to like I can maybe try to shuffle it around and compromise and stuff, but like I could never get rid of it. Um, yeah, I need to have my like those like career goals to for me to like keep driving towards and succeed and surpass and make new ones and do other things. But yeah, that'd be the other one that I would never want to change.
So when I look at those three things, right, logical side, emotions don't fluctuate, and ambition and drive, I see the perfect employee, right, or perfect leader in a sense, right? For like startups, things like that, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because there's so much fluctuations and all that stuff. But those three qualities, how do you really relate them to finding relationships and finding love? Like I know for a fact that's a current desire of yours, right? Like you're trying to put yourself out there more in that regard. Am I wrong about
Uh,
this? I could be wrong about this. I shouldn't put words in your mouth.
it's not like number one priority.
Hmm.
It's kind of like I think right now in my head it's like a nice to have,
Nice to have. Okay.
like a um, if that makes sense to you.
No, no, it makes
Yeah, yeah.
sense. It's like something desirable, but not necessarily like you're not going to
Not
cry
yeah. I'm
about
not
it if
gonna.
it doesn't happen.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm not like I'm not devastated by it or anything, but like if it happened and I actually find someone that I really enjoy and that person meshes with me really well and all that,
Hmm.
perfect. Life is great. Life is even better than what it is now.
Right.
So
Uh,
nice to have.
Nice to have. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. But as you were mentioning earlier, you like make sure that you're taking time to see friends and family. Are you also taking time towards any of this stuff, or is that even a desire or like desire? Because if it's a nice to have, of course, there's a certain amount of push that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, one of the you're currently looking for you're currently trying to set me up with people, so there's
Yeah,
that,
that's a good
and
point.
that's about it though. I apologize for putting all of this on you.
You're not
Um,
putting all of it on me. I'm only doing this because I feel like I've seen you grow so much over the last few years, right? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm down for that. I know you as a person. I respect you a lot, right? I wouldn't do it for anyone, right?
yeah, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
of course.
But yeah. No. Okay. I am unfortunately not putting that much time into it.
Mhm.
Actually, I think you're putting in more time into it, so that kind of tells you how much time I'm putting into it. Um, and the amount of time you're putting into it is like I would say significantly more, and I definitely appreciate the effort that you're putting into it,
No worries.
and especially in the event that it works out, I will somehow compensate you in kind.
Jesus. Okay, that's not necessary. But okay, okay. Here's another point of contention here. So, if I had presented all of this to you, like say 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, right?
Yep.
Would you be in the same boat where it would be like, oh, that's a nice to have, like, or has is that a new change in you?
I would say this is a new thing. Back then, I really didn't care.
Okay, so
Um,
what's the difference between previous Daniel and current Daniel? Like, what caused that change?
I mean, 3 years ago, I was still like working at the like my first startup.
Yeah. Mm,
And like I was and I was pulling some real insane hours. Like I was like doing like 16-hour days, weeks over weeks, right?
yeah.
So like you don't have time to think about anything but work at that point in time, right?
Mm,
I would during those times, that was my daily schedule. I would go home at like 3, 4, 5 in the morning,
wow.
and then I would wake up at like 10 or 11, and then I would just immediately head into work.
Jesus.
And then I would just rinse and repeat that every single day, unless like I had to leave for like I had to leave occasionally for like friends' birthdays or something. But I would leave only for like 2, 3 hours, and I would come back and I would start working again.
Holy.
So there was like there was nothing there wasn't even like I lived with my family, right,
Yeah.
at my mom's house.
Mhm.
Um, but like I didn't see them. When would I might have seen them to say bye, and that was about it. So yeah, there's no time for that. Now at the current one, like like I work a lot still, but like I still have free time. I have free time and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like it's definitely more um in the realm of possible.
Uh,
Also, like every time I call my grandparents or they call me, they're like, "When you getting married, Daniel?" I'm like, "Grandma, I gotta have a girlfriend first before I get married."
I gotta have a girlfriend first.
Yeah.
And-
Um,
Dude, in our culture, that's when they start presenting like, arranged marriage prospects.
my grandpa offered to do that, and I said no.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I was like,
Uh,
"I'm good, Grandpa. I'm
you
good."
should send them a link to like some mail order brides and be like, these
No,
are some better options.
absolutely not. I think they'll be shocked
They'll be shocked.
if I do that. But no, but yeah, like they do that. My mom doesn't really care that much. She's like, I don't really care if you get married or have kids, but your grandparents keep asking me.
Your grandparents. So, did that eventually, like, did that actually start like getting to you though? Like them constantly asking
No,
and stuff? No.
it never really got to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Even okay, so even 3 years ago, I would say if it happened, it happened. However, like I wouldn't really want it to happen 3 years ago,
Right.
because that would have been. I mean, no, that's not true. I would want it to happen if it happened, right?
Yeah. No, I've always
Um,
figured that about you. But like you said, I think you
but it's
identified
hard.
burnout.
Yeah, yeah, it would have been difficult. I think at least maybe it would have started out nice, but then I have a feeling that like work would start taking over my life again eventually, and then that would have probably led into problems in the relationship. But now it depends on the girl, right? If the girl wants me to spend like every waking moment of my life with her, outside of work, number one, there's already an issue because like I'm not that type of person.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a good fit,
Um,
anyways.
no. And so yeah. So like now I have more time. I can maybe dedicate more time towards it. Also, I'm getting older. Who knows?
Yeah,
I
my parents put it as,
yeah.
you're turning into the expired goods on the shelf.
Oh wow, that's okay. That's harsh. That's
And no,
too
like
harsh.
every year that like you're getting older, right? You're getting more and more
Yeah, that's
outdated goods.
oh damn. Did you have to pour some water on the burn wounds there?
A little
Uh,
bit, little bit, little bit. My parents are so full of love. Yeah, yeah. No, I heard that. And I was like, wow.
yeah, I don't know. I'm getting older. I don't think I've ever been in like a serious long term relationship.
Right.
So I would want to try one just as well. Like, who wouldn't?
Yeah, yeah. No, of
Yeah.
course. In that regard, like, because you mentioned the burnout thing earlier, right? And you said
Yeah.
you've decided since then to make more of a priority towards family and friends. And I know you want to, like you said, you want to do a startup again in the future. Is there some lessons from the first one? Like, would you take those lessons? Is that why you're more open to it now? Like, would you still be open to it if you were like, I don't know, let's say you decided to start up that startup again, right? Do you feel like that would be too much of a strain, or would you still be open to meeting girls and like trying to figure out that relationship?
I would be fully transparent with them.
Hmm.
They'd have to be okay with that. I've learned my lesson, and I know that you definitely need a balance, right? You can't just be working 24/7.
Yeah,
That's not that's not sustainable.
right.
Um, but like, especially if you're starting a new company, there will be periods where like I am very very busy for like a week or two, right?
Yeah,
It's like it's either I do those things over those week or two, or the business could go under.
right.
I would rather do my best to not let the business go under because I put so much time and effort and money into it, would
Yeah.
have or would be putting that much into it. So like I would just have to sit down with that person and be like, um, yeah, this is my future ambitions. Um, like I do work a lot now, but like let's say I do get to the point where I can start my own company.
Uh-huh.
Um, this is gonna if what you thought now was bad, if you thought it was bad now, it'll get worse. Are you okay with that?
Right.
Yeah. But I'll also make it clear, like I will make sure that I set aside time because I know that's important. But like
Right.
just to
And that
let
was
you
the lesson
know,
you learned,
like
right?
yeah, just to let you know, like it will get worse for a period of time. It's not going to be forever, but like especially at the early, like maybe first, depending on the business, right? It could be anywhere from like 2 to 5 years. For
Yeah.
that 2 to 5 years, it could get pretty bad. But then,
Hmm.
like after, hopefully, once the business starts to like get its feet under it and stuff, like, and I'm able to brush off or put more responsibility onto others, then I can then start to take a bit of a step back and
Yeah.
enjoy the finer things in life
Um,
more.
Actually, that brings up another really good question about this is so for your partner then, like I know you're looking for understanding with that regard because, like you said, one of your core values is ambition and drive, right? And of course, with ambition and drive, stuff like this is gonna happen where the focus is always gonna like it's always gonna move at some point towards those ambitions and drives, and
Yeah.
obviously, it's not always gonna be towards your partner, right? And of course, he needs to have some level of understanding towards that. But beyond that, are you also looking for someone with, like, just on a theoretical aspect, are you looking for people with a similar level of ambition and drive, or just someone that'll be able to understand it? Like, are you looking for someone more like you, or someone that, I guess, in a way, complements some of these things, but not necessarily a similar personality that way?
I mean, ideally, obviously, the other person also has ambition and drive. But I don't know. I don't know how a relationship works if two people have ambition and drive.
Yeah.
Do they just never see each other? Like I don't know what that's like.
Well,
So I
you're
can't
saying you
comment on
could,
it. But
yeah. I mean, you also said that you're
yeah,
looking for a co-partner, so that could always be one of those things, right? They could be their ambition and drive
maybe,
could be similar as yours.
maybe I don't know. A good question. I have no idea. I actually don't know.
No,
I'll
I
be
thought I would
frank.
ask.
Yeah.
I just thought I would ask.
I
That
mean, yeah, the thing that they definitely have to, it doesn't matter whether they have ambition and drive or they don't. I mean,
yeah.
they kind of have to have some sort of ambition and drive, not zero, maybe not as, um, yeah, they have to enjoy something.
Hmm.
But like the one requirement is obviously they have to understand my ambition and drive at the very least,
Yeah, and
because otherwise it's never gonna happen.
no, that makes sense. And okay,
Yeah,
this is another forward-looking one, so I don't know if this is even fair to ask you, because like you said, you go with the flow, right? But like, do you want kids in the future and things like that?
I have no idea.
Ah, there you go. Okay, perfect. Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I was expecting, given you said you go with the flow with these things,
yeah.
right?
I've thought about it, and it's like I won't be sad if I have them. Also, won't be sad if I
Don't,
do
right?
have them.
Oh,
Or yeah, wait, sorry.
yeah,
Did I say do or don't?
yeah. You really want kids, as well. Sounds of
Yeah, okay.
it.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I don't care if I have them. I don't care if I don't have them.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah,
you
yeah. It's
like.
like um, it'll be the decision of the other of the partner. Then at that point, I don't really care.
Oh, really? You would
And
leave that
yeah,
like completely up to the partner. So your partner, it needs to be someone you like. You want to find them as good God. What's the word here? You want them to be suitable for you in regards to like you really care for them and stuff, right? Is that's what you're looking for above anything else?
what?
That was yeah, that was weird phrasing. I didn't know how to phrase this.
I hope most significant others care for the other person.
No,
uh,
I mean like some people like for example, I don't know, one person could like some people fit together because of certain aspects of that person as they are right now, right? In regards to like for example, if I was very ambitious and career driven, there could be someone I'm looking for that might nurture that more than actually being ambitious and career driven, right? But
mhm.
it sounds to me like you're more or less looking for someone that you see as a fit regardless of where they want to go in life. It's more of the values and the core person. That's what I'm getting from what you're saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's more the values and the core personalities than what their actions in life are, right? Because if you would leave something like kids up to your partner, right? That's usually a big deal for people, right? Like that's a deal breaker of whether they want kids or whether they don't want kids. But you're
Mhm.
not seeing relationships in that like through that lens. You're seeing it more of the person in front of me as they are or who they are on a core sense is what I'm looking for.
I don't know. Like with me, I rarely worry about things that don't affect me.
At this moment, you mean, right?
Yeah, well, that at this moment or that I really don't care about.
But would that
So for
change if it's like something that could affect you in the future?
okay, because like okay, so with the whole kids thing, it's not something that I would be explicitly be caring about.
Right. Hmm.
Like so, I would be okay. I think I thought about it. I would be okay with not having him or having them. So like, that's what I mean by like leave it up to the partner. So like, if I meet someone, really like them, and they don't want kids,
Yeah.
guess I'm not having kids. And if they want kids, guess I'm having kids. I can go either way. I really have like I like kids are fine. I'm sure raising a baby is a lot of work, but a lot of other people make it work, so should be fine. But also, there's a lot of other people that can't make it work and don't want to make it work, and so they
Yeah.
don't have kids, and that's totally fun as well.
That's fair. That's fair. So, in regards to that, then, actually, I know how to phrase this now. So, it sounds to me like you would be an extremely supportive partner for whomever you fall for, right? Like, it's about pushing their ambitions forward just as much as it's yours. Like, because kids, in a way, is an ambition for some people. That's how I would phrase it, right? Like,
If that's their desire, yeah, why not?
okay, no, that's actually so healthy. I don't think you realize how healthy that is. Right?
if that's
That was what
if
I was trying
that's
to say.
the
There you go.
if that's what they want, then that's what they want. And if and obviously like I would have gone into the relationship knowing that I wouldn't. If I didn't like that, I probably wouldn't really talk to them in the first place.
Hmm. Okay, here's another one for you. Okay, so I think I presented this to you beforehand as well as a kind of thing that I might go into. But okay, you're talking about having a logical side, right? You're talking about emotions don't fluctuate as two of your like core key values that you would not change, right? And you're talking about understanding social cues or like respecting social cues more, right? Again, I don't think you didn't understand them. I think it's a level of respect. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? In regards to that.
Uh, I have no idea.
You actually don't know. Okay,
Yeah,
never mind. Okay, let's assume that you're just understanding them more. Let's say that you're just choosing to understand them more, right? In regards to all of that, how do you see empathy with other people? Like, do you feel like you have a good level of EQ, or is that something that you're working more towards?
key stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I guess empathy and EQ are two different things. So let's do empathy first, right? Do you feel like you can empathize with people pretty easily?
what do you define as empathy?
Relating to another person. So like, if someone is sad, right? I understand. Like, if I was sad, um, there's certain things and things around it. Like I would understand that someone's sad. It's not the reasoning behind it, but rather just the feeling. Like if someone's saying they're having a sad day, I can understand that they're sad. That's all there is to it, right? Because I've been sad before. And to me, it's like putting yourself in someone else's shoes. That's empathy at a very basic level.
Then it's situational.
It is situational, right? But
Yeah.
what's the difference in the situations for you?
Sometimes I hear why the reason they're sad or feeling angry or whatever is the emotion that they're feeling,
Yeah.
and I don't get it because that doesn't sound like something that you should be sad or at least it's fixable. The problems that are fixable, don't understand why you get so worked up over it. I
Right.
understand being annoyed or whatever at the situation at the hand, but like usually if they're fixable, they're fixable. Like
Ah, okay.
you have a path to fixing them.
Okay,
The
I
ones that are not fixable,
yeah.
that I get. I can be like, yeah, I mean, like, oh yeah, your pet died. I totally get it.
Uh,
Can't really fix your pet dying, but like, let's say it was like, let's say like you got, I don't know,
Dude, there's mediums out there.
um, yeah, yeah, that's, they can, they should go to prison, but,
Jesus,
um,
okay. Go on.
they like I don't know what's a good example, but I think most people yeah I don't know like let's say they got a bad review at work or something.
Yeah.
Um, okay, once again, obviously not every situation fits into this situation like a cookie cutter.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's situation is different. And sometimes you could just have like the world's shittiest boss, and that really there is really no fixing the situation at that workplace. You just have to move to a different company or something,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right, right.
But like, let's say like you actually have like a decent company that you work for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get a bad review because of whatever reason. If it's at a decent company, they usually like give you like, hey, this is where you screwed up. And, like here are the things that we've noticed and got feedback from other coworkers on like where you screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
If you do this, like we'll be happy and then like and we'll try to work with you, right?
Yeah,
Um, and then there's people that like when they hear that, like they go into like my world is ending and like they're crying and stuff, right?
yeah.
It's like why? They gave you what the problem was. They gave you like some potential solutions on how to fix it. See the thing, internalize it, and then try to actually work towards fixing it. And then the next time you'll actually get a compliment for like making progress on fixing it. Don't get sad over it. There's no point in getting sad over it. That's a waste of your time.
I,
Literally, it's a waste of your time.
no, no, but see, okay, so what you're talking about, it's again going back to those two traits that you said you really like, right? Which is that logical side. So what you're talking about is, to me, that's going beyond the empathy thing, though, right? It's like you're taking the next step. You're saying that you dug your own grave in these circumstances, or
Yeah,
right? And you don't empathize with that because it is your own doing at a certain point. If there's been signs and stuff, and they're asking you to change, but that still requires a level of empathy, right, to understand that.
but
Because like you're looking, you can see why they're sad, right? But you're more frustrated at why they didn't do something earlier to change the circumstances, right? And so you don't want to empathize with a person like that because what they did was illogical in the first place,
yeah, yeah, sure, yeah.
right? And
I don't know if that applies to empathy, but like what
mhm.
minus the empathy part, like that other parts make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in regards to it, like you're still able to identify that they're sad, right? Like you just don't want to relate to someone with that irrationality. Sounds
Yeah,
so
yeah.
weird.
It's pointless. It's pointless.
Yeah, yeah, no, but again, to me, I hear that, and for some reason, my head goes to you're so comfortable with yourself. You know, you like these things about yourself, right? You like living a logical life, and these people are all like the examples you gave are circumstances in which it is illogical. But at the same time, I feel like you've already said that you give contention to people that are like you can understand someone being sad and not having a reason behind it. and they're
Yeah,
just sad, right?
there's
Like,
it's literally out of their control. Like yeah, that sucks. I
yeah,
can't do anything. You can't do anything. Literally nothing that you could have done to have overcome this situation.
yeah. So
And whatever that might be. Yeah,
all of this to me speaks to empathy. The only difference is you don't give a shit to empathize with people that are idiotic about how they got there, right? So to me, that's more of you desire people to have, I guess, be rational beings on their own, right? And if they're irrational, then you don't care. Like I don't even
yeah,
want to say
and you
rational.
know what? And you know what? Like you can't always be rational, right? And people like
Yes.
I'm not always rational at all times.
Hmm.
No one is a perfect human being. So
I
people make
I
mistakes, and
should have
that's totally fine.
Yes, I should have said
Yeah,
logical. I actually rational
yeah,
isn't right
yeah,
because like we said, like some of the feelings you get are irrational, right? They just happen.
yeah.
And but even that you can empathize with.
Even with logic. Once again, no one is perfect. I'm not
True.
perfect. You're not perfect. No one's
Yeah.
perfect. Um, People make mistakes, and if you do it like once, a blue moon, right? Like once in a while,
Yeah.
it just got to you because maybe there were other external factors, right?
Yeah.
Totally understandable. I can get behind that. If you're doing it consistently, that's where I'm like, yeah, this is no longer a mistake. This is no longer like an actual slip up. This is like, yeah, you are literally screwing your life up over this. And then
Yeah.
immediately, and then I start to like check myself out of that. It's like I don't care anymore.
Yeah, and even then,
Yeah,
like you would probably try to understand circumstances, right? Like, I know we're using the example of like your manager is giving you an MOR, like, or sorry,
yeah,
review or whatever, right? And they're giving you feedback and stuff. But like, let's say relationships, because relationships are a little more like tend to be a little more irrational. It's more emotional,
yep, yep,
right? Um, Maybe you missed cues in a relationship or something like that, and suddenly someone blows up and things like that. Like you would probably give a lot more leeway in that, right? When empathizing with something like that.
yes,
So
because emotional relationships are difficult,
yeah, okay, yeah,
to say the least.
yeah, okay, okay.
I
Uh,
I try not to get myself involved, but if I have to be, then yes.
yeah, so to me, and maybe other people would disagree, but I would really like this is about us right now. It's a conversation between us. To me, everything you're describing means that you do have empathy. It's just when people are being idiotic, you dismiss them. Jesus, that sounded so
Yeah,
harsh, but that's what I'm getting when I talk to you.
no, that's the truth of it.
That's the truth of it.
I
Okay.
don't. I'll be honest. I have very little patience for like stupidity.
Yeah.
I I I just don't. I
Uh-huh.
can't. It's one of the reasons why I don't think I could ever be a teacher. I tried tutoring for a while, and I freaking hated it.
Yeah.
The parts where you taught like the the students that they weren't maybe the smartest, but they actually cared
Yeah.
and try to learn and like whatever. The smart ones were easy, but the ones that were maybe not as bright, but like they cared, they try to really like awesome experience.
Hmm.
But the kids that do not care and were morons also literally poisoned the whole experience, and
Yeah.
I could never do it. I would actually like, yeah, I couldn't do it. I quit within like the first like week.
Dude,
So like I
I
can't
love
deal
how
with this.
even you talking about this goes back to your, three core pillars of yourself, because on the third one you said ambition and drive, right? And you're talking about not seeing that in other people. You're seeing a lack of ambition or drive for them, and you're like, I don't give a shit about this. Yeah. Like, wow.
I get
Okay.
all I care is that you care. If you show that to me and you put the effort in, I am happy.
Jesus.
I'm happy to mentor you. If you don't show that to me, like I could not care as to if you were to keel over and die or whatever. I mean, I kind of care at that point, but
No,
like
I got
you
you.
you
Don't
get
worry.
you get you get my like meta. Yeah.
No, I got you. I got you. I got you. To be clear, anyone that's like listening at home and doesn't know Daniel, he's just honest. Like he's just a metaphor. He's not gonna leave you there dying. Right. Does that help, Daniel? Does that reassure you a
Yes.
little bit? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Just want to make sure. No, I like that though. Okay, so Have you always felt those three core values were your biggest core values? Has it been like throughout your life, or did that like, or was there moments in your life which slowly helped you figure that out?
The ambition and drive thing was something that I think came a bit later in life.
Right. Hmm.
Um, yeah, like once I found like an actual passion. I think it kind of started actually when I was like looking to jump ship from that enterprise job
Hmm.
to the startup world. Like that's where it really kind of kicked into gear.
Yeah.
But like I've always loved like working. I've always wanted to do like I like what like before deciding to go to a startup. My plan was to go from that enterprise company to like one of the FANG companies.
Hmm.
Then that changed when I went to that. But yeah, so I guess my ambition and drive was there, just not as much as when I went into startups.
Right. Okay. And the other
Yeah,
two, like, have you always preferred logic above all else? Because, like, I'm thinking about things like hiking, right? Like, I know you don't like really going out hiking anymore, and you've identified that. But there was
yeah.
a period where you would still go out to go hiking and things like that, right?
I will go hiking with you guys
Yeah.
if it's easy. The ones that you guys go on to are the ones that are like freaking climbing the side of mountains on like a rocky what is it? I don't even know what it's called.
The Rocky
But
Mountain.
like those are the type like the ones that take like 10 hours to do. I'm like, hell no, I'm not going anywhere near those. If you're doing like grassy lakes, I'll go to that one. Yeah, if
So
you
you
want to
still
like Canmore,
you still like
yeah.
nature. You just think some of those hikes are too
No, I don't
extreme.
really care for nature.
Oh, okay.
I just do it for the social aspect of it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I figured you would
Um,
have an answer for why you actually prefer one thing over
yeah.
the other.
No, I just do it for the social aspect. I don't really care about the other stuff. But like,
Dude,
yeah, the ones that I get asked to go on, they're like, it's like a 6, 7, 8 hour hike, and
dude. In
at the
all
end you
fairness,
have
the
to
hike you
go
suggested
climbing.
years ago, the
Yeah, that
one
was a mistake. I
it took
remember
us.
I quit. I quit before I was like, I'm done. I went down the hill with you guys.
Yeah,
So I stopped. I was like, I can't do this. I screwed up.
I screwed up.
Yeah, I screwed up. I screwed up big time. I could barely walk the next day.
No,
Um,
that's fair.
yeah. But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good on those. I'm not doing any of those. Yeah, my sister, like they like hiking, but like they don't like doing the hard stuff.
Hmm.
So they'll ask me to like when my sister was here, or when my sister was still living in Calgary, like we would occasionally go out to Banff or Canmore, and we would do like grassy lakes or walk around the lake or something. And I just do that with my family, and I'll do that
Mm,
with friends. But the people that I know, they go too hardcore.
that's fair. I got one more for you then. So I know you're looking at like career success, right, through like these startups and stuff, and you're saying there's a direct correlation between that and how you deem your life, right?
Hmm.
But for happiness and success in your life as a total, as a whole, right? Is there something in particular you're looking for, or what would be your criteria for that? Like, are you happy right now?
I'm very happy right now.
Right, and you just see that
Yeah,
like you said, candy or candy on top would be a relationship, right? Like that's
yeah,
the
like a
one thing you
cherry
want to
on
explore
top.
more. Yeah,
Yeah,
like that's your next exploration area, I guess, in a way, or
yeah.
next area of improvement. Um, but beyond that, like, is there anything else you're looking for? Like, why are you happy right now? What exactly is it about right now that's making you feel satisfied?
Mm, I think I have a pretty good relationship with my family.
Hmm.
Um, like especially for me, like living in the same house as them, probably we like obviously we like fight and stuff, but
Yeah.
like moving out and like having that time apart and then going,
Hmm.
I think that's really helped. So like I have a really good relationship now. Um, not that we didn't have a bad like not that we had a bad one before, but like it's just
No,
gotten better.
I
Yeah.
got you. There's definitely like a
Um,
spectrum to all that stuff,
yeah,
right? Like it's
yeah.
families. It goes up and down.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. Like it was pretty good. Now it's even better.
Hmm.
Um, I have my like group of friends that I hang out with. Enjoy spending time with them. So like I would say like that side of my life is pretty good as well,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So like I have my work group of friends. I have like you guys. I have
Do you
other
keep?
people.
Yeah.
No, I don't really keep in touch with people I don't really consider as friends. Um,
Oh no, I was gonna ask,
not
do you
yeah.
ever think about intermingling them? I want to meet your colleagues. But anyways, that's irrelevant to anything.
My
Keep going.
colleagues.
Yeah, it's fun. You said you have your work group of
Maybe.
friends and your friends' friends. It's like
Yeah.
why can't they just all be friends? Anyways, moving on. You were talking about something important. I digressed.
Well, okay. The thing is, like, a lot of the time with them, I'm talking like even during a social setting, I'm talking a lot about work.
Mhm.
Like especially this one guy. He's a pretty cool dude. But like whenever we talk, we're always talking about like programming, coding, architecture. I don't think you guys would really be would really be like wouldn't really enjoy sitting there and listening to us talk about like the nuances of JavaScript versus like whatever it is
Well,
versus TypeScript.
I'm sure they would be different if you're inviting them out with us as well, right? There's other things that you guys would obviously talk about. It would expand that barrier, at least in my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't know them.
Yeah, I mean,
They might
we
be
talk
that
about other
boring.
stuff, it's boring to you.
Sorry.
How dare you,
No,
Danny?
I genuinely want to learn more about your work. You know this.
How
I've asked you a
dare
lot of
you?
questions. I genuinely want to learn more. Boring was
um,
just it was just like a term.
I am so offended.
No,
I'm
you're not.
gonna
Let's move on.
cry. I'm gonna cry in a corner. Never talk to you again.
Okay,
Um,
that hurts. I can't believe this was so superficial and I never noticed it. No, I
but
just mean like in a social setting, you're not gonna be talking about work
yeah,
all the
yeah,
time, right?
yeah.
Like that's how I meant it.
Oh, but we do though.
And right, but that's because you're working with them, right? Like, I mean, outside of that, if they were talking to other people, I'm sure they would. I could be wrong. I don't know them. I genuinely don't
I
know them.
don't know.
I'm gonna.
I went to a bar once with a bunch of like different people from my work.
Yeah,
That included like it was like a work event, so like
yeah.
that included, and then like yeah, I remember like we were just sitting at the table. Other people were doing their thing, but we're just talking about like we're talking. I don't. We were talking about like server architecture for like 3 hours.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's so much
Uh,
passion, though. Like, I love that so much. Honestly,
so
like,
like that will happen anyway. So that's going like away from the fact, but yeah. So like I think my like yeah friend relationships are pretty good.
mhm,
Work is going really well. Really happy with
yeah,
how like with the trajectory of the company.
yeah,
With my role and contributions to it. Enjoying yeah like I think I actually think there's not enough hours in a day because of how fast that day goes by.
yeah,
I wish the time would go a little slower actually, so I feel like I could do more
yeah, yeah.
with the amount of time I have. um yeah, colleagues are awesome. Yeah. And I think that's about it.
Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, so beyond a relationship, is there any other things you're looking for? Like, would you, to make your life happier from this moment, is there anything you would do differently beyond a relationship? Like, is there anything on
I
your
mean,
bucket list, I
I don't know
guess?
if that. By the way, I just want to say I don't know if that'll make me happier. It
That
could not,
just,
right? It
yeah,
if it's like
true.
if it turns into a bad relationship, it could make my life miserable. So it could go either way. But it's something that I want to explore, see what it's like.
Yeah, no, you're
Um,
right. No, that was
yeah,
very presumptuous of me. Yeah.
whether it's good or bad.
No, good call. Good
But
call pointing
anyways,
that out.
but as for anything else that would make me happier,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. They're like, I mean, they're all like superficial things, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Oh,
Like
okay, okay.
I would say like I wish like yeah, I want to go and travel more and stuff, but
That's not really
like
superficial.
I'm gonna be doing that anyways. So
Yes.
it doesn't really matter. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. No, that's awesome. I'm glad you've found your level of happy, right? Like, 'cause no matter what happens from here, at least you'll have these moments in your life where you're
Yeah.
truly feeling that, right? So that's pretty cool, dude. I don't know a lot of people that are truly there in their lives, right? Where they feel truly happy in the moment. Because there's always
I think I lucked out somehow. I don't know how I lucked into this, but I've lucked into it somehow.
I
Um,
wouldn't say that.
from
I don't know if it's
No,
luck.
it's luck because like from like grade 10, I found something that I really enjoyed and loved doing for hours upon hours, which and that I can act, and then from that I was able to turn that into something that makes me money. And like there are some people that like draw a hard line between like what they love and what they want to do at work.
Yeah.
I don't have to draw that line.
See, okay,
I literally,
I think
yeah,
that's why I'm calling it not luck. So you're right. There is an element of luck to it, right? Like
yeah.
everything in life has that element, and to me, that part's there. But from everything you said, it's not just luck, but there's certain traits that you have created in yourself that has led to that, right? Like you've been very open-minded about how you're explaining things. That advert got to you, right? Like you got caught by an
Yeah,
advert.
literally that single advertisement about that option. If I didn't see that, I would never. I mean, I would have eventually found out what it was.
Yes, yeah.
But like, I
Hmm.
wouldn't have known about it until whenever that day that I find out it was a thing.
Exactly, but if you're
Yeah.
looking at an advert, like I look at an advert, 90% of the time I'm gonna dismiss it as an ad, right? It's like, at least for me personally, right?
I mean, in this case, it wasn't really ad. It was a course description, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you were willing on exploring that. How many people go through high school and they look for the easiest A course, right? As opposed to anything else, right? You had that ambition, you
That's
had the
fair.
drive. So, like, to me, when I hear that, I'm like, this guy really was open-minded. He looked at what he enjoyed and he used that to try and figure out what his next steps are. And this is just speaking towards your career stuff, right? Like you figured that out slowly. It's not like it's that. But in regards
Yeah, it
to your
wasn't. Yeah.
and I feel like you apply that to your group of friends as well, right? Where, like you said, you're willing on dismissing people or cutting them out or not having them in that way in your life if you don't feel like they are good people or they are not adding value to your life in some way, right? Sorry, that might be the wrong word. You didn't actually say that part, but um,
No, I think that's a good thing. Yeah, I just don't. Um, there's no point in keeping in contact with people that you don't really keep in contact with. So
yeah, but
yeah.
this kind of stuff as a like in a total, it's like very hard for people to do, right? Because cutting people out is seemed kind of wrong unless there's like some sort of toxic line or something like that. And even then, a lot of people struggle with it, right? They're looking for approval from other people or other perspectives and things like that. And if someone's been in your life for a while, it's very hard to identify, oh, this is not good for me anymore or something like that. But it seems you do that pretty early on as well. And then you're constantly evaluating it and changing the dynamic of the relationship accordingly, right? Um,
I don't know if I'm going that far, but I just like if I yeah, if you're
Sorry,
not a
when
person
I
that
say this, I
can
mean this
mesh
at a
well with me.
subconscious level. I don't mean this as like you're actively
Oh,
thinking it through.
no. Who knows? Who knows what is going on in my
Subconscious.
subconscious? Who knows? I don't know. Even I don't know if
Am
it's
I giving you too much
subconscious.
credit, Daniel? Is that what's
Yeah,
going on?
I think you're giving me too much credit here, but
All
no,
right.
yeah, I don't know. It's just
I just feel like that with the stuff you've done, it's very impressive, and I don't think you should discredit that with just saying I'm lucky. That's all. That's the point, right?
no, I no, yeah, I definitely worked for the stuff that I've done,
Yeah,
but like there is definitely
an
an
element of
element of
luck.
luck.
Yeah, and I
And
wouldn't argue with that.
I can never discredit that. Like if someone else could have followed my exact trajectory,
Hmm.
and somewhere along the line they could have gotten completely screwed over, and they'd have been in a different like horrible realm. Whereas like with me, yeah, I went like I did the thing from high school, then
Yeah,
went to university. During university, I did a really awesome internship,
yeah.
which I learned a lot.
Hmm.
And like even before I graduated, I got what is it? I got a job down in like LA,
Yeah,
the LA area. Moved down there, worked there for like whatever. Came back, started a startup. Didn't work out. That's fine. Learned a lot. But from that, I was able to take that into another startup, which is doing really good.
yeah.
And like, yeah, I would say somewhere along the line, other people would have maybe gone somewhere else. But like, I was somehow lucky enough to continue along this path that I'm on.
I know
Yeah.
that's amazing, and frankly, what I'm really enjoying about this conversation is how easy you are with like figuring out like decided the things that you did, and you're actually honest about not having thought through certain things.
Yeah, no. There, okay, yeah. So, okay, I think this is another part that I enjoy about myself is that
Mhm.
um, is risk taking.
Right. Yeah.
To a degree, there's some risks that I don't want to take, like if it involves me potentially like dying,
Yes, like you're not gonna have
then
sex with a
yeah,
hooker that has
whatever.
an STD, right? Like you're not gonna take that
What
risk.
the hell? What is this example now? Is this an example coming from like a personal place? Huh?
No, no, I'm. Okay. My brain went to what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and then it went
Okay.
to STDs,
All right.
and then it
Oh
went to
wow. Okay.
hookers.
Okay. It's a very specific example that you
Well,
gave
you
me.
said okay.
Um,
My bad. My bad. Let's
yeah,
dial it
but
back.
but but anyways, no, but like with the startup, like when I was talking to my mom, she was like, "Are you sure?
All right. Hmm.
Are you sure?" But I'm like, you know what? Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, yeah. Why not? Why not? Honestly, why not? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you? I'm young. I was at the time I was like 24, 25. So I was like,
Hmm.
I mean, I'm still in my 20s now, but like, I was super young. I have zero responsibilities. I had the money and some support from my mom to be able to like with the finances and stuff,
Yeah.
and my sister as well. Um, and so like, yeah, number one is why not. Number two, I can take the risk because I don't have anything to why wouldn't I? Number three, um, I had talked about even in the past like that I do want to start my own company. So this is like a great opportunity,
Hmm.
especially like I'm starting with someone that I've known for a very long time.
Yeah.
And four, like I was like I could learn so much. And five, I hated my job.
I hated my job.
I was so bored.
So bored. Dude, I love that.
Honestly,
Yeah, you know
and
how many
so
people are like bored with their jobs, but they're not willing on taking the steps to change it, right? Like that's a normal thing.
yeah. Yeah. So anyways, those like things. Obviously, there's a lot more other like going like after going through that. Now I know there's other things that I should have that I should like do my due diligence on now. Make
Yeah.
sure I understand some like numbers and all that other jazz and whatever.
Yeah.
But like at the time, screw it. Let's just do it.
No, and that's
Yeah.
fantastic. You're learning from every moment in your life or everything that's coming your way, right? Like that's not easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Just take things. Yeah. Um. Yeah. If you just sit there and just do nothing, I think that's an even worse existence than just taking a risk
Yeah.
and just going for it. And if it fails, it fails. As long as it doesn't destroy you,
Yeah.
like you should be good to go.
Well, what would you call destroying you, right? Like, because I think there's
Some people
usually
don't have. Okay, so okay. There's a. I don't know what. Okay, it depends on the person, right?
right. Yes, exactly.
Let's
Hmm.
say okay. One, it could be it like literally financially destroys you.
Oh yeah.
Like you cannot like it's almost unrecoverable, so you have to go get like a nice corporate job or whatever for the rest of your life to be able to pay it off and never experience that again.
Yeah.
Number two, it could emotionally destroy you, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like some people don't take failure kindly.
Yeah.
Like it you take a real bad bruising to your ego when you fail like that.
Yeah.
Um, and so like there's that. And then there's obviously the third case, which is the combination of the two.
Right.
Um, yeah,
No, that makes a lot of sense. No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I was in none of those camps, so I got out of it with just like a bruised ego. I was like, fuck it. I I lost some money, I lost some time, but I also gained a lot, and I'm gonna try to do this, and yeah. And then I took that. Actually, even between, actually, yeah, actually, I don't know how lucky I got, but like even between like
Hmm.
my startup and my current startup, that same friend that I started the startup with, he had his like he had his other business that he had before,
Hmm.
and he was very gracious and kind to me in that like he let me like just do like he let me do some contracting work with him.
Right.
And so like I was able to earn some money to like go out and enjoy myself and stuff. And I still to this day hang out with them. He's like
Yeah.
a very close friend of mine.
Yeah. So sounds like a lifer
But
to
yeah,
me.
yeah, literally, he did, and I very much appreciate that he did that. Like, so once again, though, luck, right? Like, not many people just like get that kind of thing when like you've just lost a company and like for a few months you have really nothing much to do while you're like kind of like trying to like get back. You like you're not like you're trying to rest up because that was quite the marathon. Plus, like you're trying to look for something else. But during that time of like null, I just got to just like work with him doing that company's job, and I was
Hmm.
like doing some like wiring stuff and like connecting like yeah, like I was doing some like I was like doing automation stuff, so
Yeah.
that was still pretty interesting. I actually learned a thing or two that I actually applied to this job, so that actually worked out for me too. Like everything that I've done so far has been incredibly lucky in a sense, and I've been able to take experiences and then pull it into other things. Like I learned a lot about networking at like that job that I did, like that contracting thing I did with him,
Yeah.
and like my current position now does a lot with networking. So it worked out great.
See, I think what you're talking about is like elements of luck because don't forget that a lot of people get those kinds, like you said, a lot of people get those kinds of exposures, but they don't do anything with it, right? Like they don't actually take these experiences and then apply the lessons learned from them, and then it turns into a repetitive cycle, which again goes back to you being a logical person, right? And to taking these lessons in stride.
Maybe. I
And
don't know.
to be clear, I don't want to
Yeah,
dismiss this. It is very fortunate and very lucky that you have friends
yeah,
and family that are around you like that. Some people spend their whole
yeah.
lives and they never surround themselves with things like that,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah, I've been incredibly lucky, and I can
yeah.
never recount. I can never like not count that as a factor
Oh,
into my
obviously, yeah.
current
No, dude,
situation.
all
Yeah,
of these things are such big blessings. Like, honest,
yeah.
yeah. And so, sorry, blessing might not be the right word to use with you. Incredibly
No,
fortunate.
I don't care.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, I love it, Daniel. I love like where you've come as well. It sounds amazing. Like I think there's a lot people can take from all of this. With that being said, I think we've covered like everything that I was thinking about. Is there any other like final thoughts you would have for people, or any expression or something? Like, what do you want to leave people with?
Um, I don't know. I guess like in my short existence on this planet, and I'm sure it might change with time.
Yeah,
But for now, what's worked for me is like take some risks
yeah,
if you can.
yeah.
Don't take such outsized risk that it literally destroys you in
Hmm.
some way. Sometimes that's just what you need. The other one is go with the flow. Um, but go with the flow that makes you happy, right?
Hmm.
Don't go into the flow of someone else and you're like miserable half the time. That doesn't do anybody justice. But like if you're able to see like opportunities that like makes you happy, but it's maybe not be exactly what you're looking for, right?
Hmm.
But it seems pretty cool. Try it. You never know.
Right.
It might be something you love to do, or something that you never expected, or you could learn from.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Yeah, I'd say those are the two big things that I would say for people. Go with the flow and take some risks.
That's awesome. I think that's amazing life advice. And honestly, hearing your story and hearing about how you went through all of this, I'm sure people are going to get a lot from this. So, thank you. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Um,
no problem.